What is up, handsome homies and handsome homelets? As always, this is Patrick, and we're coming back at you with another deadlift day. It is day 4, I believe, of this training week. We've got some funky things going on. We've got the funky voodoo, kind of pre-fatigue, get blood flowing everywhere that the blood should be going, warm-up stuff. We've got some wall sits with squeezing with something in between my legs. That doesn't sound right. That sounds a little vulgar. And then we got some deficit deadlifts, finishing off with some timed, what's the word? Barbell rows. Then we got an accessory that is blanking from my mind because it's been a very long week. It is finally Friday. We're finishing off with leg press. It's finally Friday, and we're heading down to Hellbent Barbell tomorrow, Saturday, because there's once this video comes out, it'll probably be today, maybe, depending on what time I get home at. We're heading out to see a kind of cool, high-level multiply powerlifting meet. It's almost like a competitor with the WPO. A lot of multiply lifters were like, hey, WPO is kind of gay. It's kind of, meh. So instead of just being like, the WPO sucks, they were like, the WPO sucks, and I'm going to do better, which is inspirational as fuck. So that's happening at Hellbent Barbell in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Ugh. I just realized it's in Connecticut. If you've lived in New England for any amount of time, you know that like Connecticut is kind of like the condom for the rest of the world. Like it kind of bridges the prime pristine New England air from like New Jersey and New York. So it's like nothing really good ever comes from Connecticut, but we're grateful that it's there, because we don't have to deal with the fucking New Jerseyans. But anyway, we got that going on. I lost my train of thought. So I guess I'm done with this intro, and I will see you guys inside, where it looks like the gym is empty, or the grown man who waits for his girlfriend to drop him off and pick him up from the gym is present. I got to the gym early, an hour and a half early yesterday, and left 3 hours early yesterday. So I'm here an hour early. 2 hours? An hour-ish, hour and a half early today. Hopefully, I can get my training done, be not distracted by every fucking thing that's going on. And, I'm so attractive. And get home and like do adult things like folding my laundry. I have what's the word? I'm thinking like adult Tupperware that you just put random shit. A tote. I don't have a laundry basket right now, because I did not take that with me when in recent life ventures. So I've been using a tote that I took a bunch of Christmas decorations out of, and I've just been using that as my laundry hamper. So hopefully I can finish up training today real fast, real sneaky, yes, good times. And so I can go home, eat dinner, fold my laundry, and get a proper amount of sleep tonight before I take the 2-3 hour drive down to Bridgeport, because I'm going to go see some cool multiply lifting. And that is totally the only reason I'm going down there. Don't look into it whatsoever. Don't, if you're going there, don't try to find me. Do try to find me. Come say hi. I like it when people say hi to me in inappropriate situations. Anyways, it is time to deadlift. Let's go, boys and girl. I've got one girl watching. Maybe one? Are there any girls watching this at this point? Maybe. Comment if you are a female watching this. We will be proud of you. for actually tolerating me, because you'll be the only female who does. So we've got this funky voodoo bullshit warm-up. And I call it funky voodoo bullshit because it looks weird, it feels weird to do, and I'm not completely sure what its function is. Because well, I kind of know what the function is. It's to warm me up, but it's doing so in a kind of like indirect way. It's a kind of a weird way to warm up, because like it's deadlift day, right? So you'd think doing stuff with like the hamstrings, the back, the glutes, the main movers associated with performing a deadlift would be, you know, ideal to warm up, get the blood flowing in the right places. But this, while yes, that is exactly what's going on, we're getting blood flowing in all the right places, but it's not an exercise selection that I would personally choose myself. But my coach knows more than I do, so we are going to be doing this funky voodoo bullshit kind of warm-up stuff. So what it is, what the program calls for today is luggage carries, which is a oblique and core kind of activation thing. It's kind of cardio because you move your feet. You don't stay in the same spot the entire time. What you do is, I've got a 35-pound dumbbell. I pick it up and I try to have my core as tight as possible so that I'm walking super straight as an arrow. That's the phrase. So like when you're carrying something heavy, you have a tendency to either lean towards the heavy thing or overcorrect and have that thing kind of like upright. So this, you've got to kind of engage your core and your obliques to make sure that you're doing it right, so that you're not like going like that, and that gets the blood flowing in the right directions. And then we've got something called the a roller coaster, where we have a 8-pound dumbbell, and we basically do he described it at one point being like a deadlift kind of, but it's not entirely accurate what that is. What you do is you pick one leg up, get on one foot, and you bend at the knee and you lean forward. And then you've got the dumbbell in your hand and you kind of swing it from side to side. We've got 3 per side, which means 6 total swings. What that does is it changes your center of mass. You bring it over here, center of mass is over here. You've got to redistribute your weight more to the other side. Doing that with both legs. Then we've got pistol squats, because it is never a bad idea to get your single leg things. If you're stronger with one arm, you're going to be way stronger with 2 arms. It's not an additive effect. It's a multiplicative kind of effect, where it's like you can curl 50s, but you can curl 135, right? That's how it works. It's not like your max is a 50-pound curl with this hand, 50-pound curl with this hand, 100 pounds with both hands. It's not as linear as that. So we're working on building stability, single-legged, so that we can have a better squat. We can have a more consistent squat, because I have a habit of not really trusting things when I'm squatting. And when I squat, I break at the hips, and then I tend to lean forward, which is my center of mass gets on my toes. And because I squat in heels, it's got the heel is basically a triangle. It's a right triangle with the floor as one of the sides, and my foot is actually the hypotenuse of the triangle. I'm a mathematician by blessing of the University of New Hampshire, which means I know that the center of mass on a triangle is not in the middle like it would be in a rectangle. It's actually in the back third. So it's a point called the centroid. It's in the back third, which is something that you would learn about in either the field of geometry or statics. So we're trying to learn to have a better weight distribution and kind of work on the muscles that are related to distributing the weight with a single leg, so that we can and we're doing that with the pistol squat, so that we can have a better squat when it comes to doing it with both legs, so that we have more ability to control where our weight's going. And then we're finishing off with lat prayers, which is basically, it kind of looks like a tricep push down, except you lock your elbows and you kind of just forcibly have the implement give you a blowjob. You try to get a stretch and compression. I don't know if you guys can see me. There's this nice pole here that's in the way. You'd pay $5 to see that in person, wouldn't you? But anyway, so we've got, I think it's like 30 yards with the luggage carries back each hand. And then sets of 3 per leg with the pistol squats, sets of 3 per leg of the roller coasters, or 3 per side per leg for the roller coasters. And that comes out to like 6 per leg, and sets of 20 with the lat prayers. So let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. And that's about all I can say. So let's get going. There's nothing too special about this. My eyes are up here. Stop staring at my ass. I know you're staring at my ass, because I'd be staring at my ass too. Let's be honest. I got a bit of a tilt going on. That's not good. Got to focus more on the core engagement, do a little hand switch. And it's good to kind of like focus on a singular point in the wall, trying to have no upper body movement going on whatsoever, getting a tight core, keeping the core tight. And we already warmed up with 10 minutes of just walking on a treadmill. So that's 30-ish yards. I don't measure it ever because it's good enough, you know. Roller coasters. All right. Now you're going to see the ugliest pistol squat ever because I suck at pistol squats. Everyone's got a weakness. My weakness is literally everything. I am the weakest human on earth. Oh, that was ugly. That did not feel good. Gotta make sure I don't miss the bench here. That would not be fun, especially because I'm plopping, which is not good. Ah! That was not good. You know you fucked this up when your knee hurts. And there we go. And we're not doing this just once. We're doing it 5 fucking times. Because why the fuck not? It's like, man, I came to the gym to lift heavy shit. Not get this like health and fitness bullshit. Now I got a healthy heart rate and healthy HRV, healthy blood pressure. And I eat chicken, beef, and rice for every meal. Like, it's a trap. It's a trap. But I'm listening to The Engineer by Will White right now, which is chef kiss. Wonderful book. It has the greatest literary character in history, known as Lemon, because when you squeeze the lemon, you get the juice. And that was a threat that Lemon said in the book. I would highly suggest you read literally any of Will White's book series. He's got the Cradle series. He's got the Last Horizon, which the Engineer's book 2 of that. It's his current series he's writing, but I can't listen to that while I'm talking to you motherfuckers, because like then I can't like talk or listen at the same time. It's hard to do multiple things at the same time, so I'm going to shut you guys the fuck up and I'm going to listen to my audiobook. The first thing on program that's like actually programmed is wall sit with medicine ball being squeezed in between your legs with supersetted with leg curl. Now my gym doesn't have medicine balls, so I'm just going to use a board. Just hold it between my legs, I guess. I've told my coach I don't have medicine balls, but he knows me, and he knows that I will not think inside of the box, and I'll find a way. So this is like the second time I've ever done wall sits, last time being last week. So I don't know if I'm doing a wall sit correctly, but it's 15 seconds. It's such a weird number, 15 seconds. Because like usually when you count seconds, it's like on measures of 10, right? But like 15, you're like, I'm going to count to 10, and then you're on your way to counting to 10. And you don't normally do sets of 15, right? It's usually like 10, 8, 5, 12. So like, and then this is a set of 15 as well, doing single leg. Oh, I don't like this machine because I don't fit in it. So I do single leg on this, even though it's programmed to be just regular leg curl, because the machine only goes up to 200 pounds, right? And everyone and their mother can leg curl 200 pounds. It's like benching 135. Everyone can do it. So to make it that much more difficult, I split the load. So like instead of distributing the weight, when you're doing a 200 pound leg curl, you're leg curling 100 pounds with each leg. So by redistributing the load to a single leg, so you're doing a 100 pound leg curl, which means you're doing a single leg, so you're leg curling 100 pounds. So if you're gonna leg curl, single leg curl 110 pounds, you'll be leg curling 220, basically, if you were doing a regular leg curl. So that's why I do the single leg curl. It's not programmed like that, but 'tis what it is. And then after this, we've got deficit deadlifts, which is an exercise that I would rather masturbate with sandpaper than do. So enjoy my struggle, because it's not even for singles. It's for triples. Like, fuck me, right? All right, now we're on to probably the most annoying accessory exercise. That's the word I was looking for. It's basically an accessory to murder. So it makes sense that they share that moniker. And that would be bent over barbell rows for time with a hip circle around my knees. Now, I'm not completely sure what the hip circle around the knees does, but I do it anyways because it's on the program. And I'm a good little boy. And good little boys follow program. They stay on program. One of these days, I'm going to be a good little man. But I'm not strong enough to be a man yet. I haven't hit puberty yet. So we're on to the bent over barbell rows for, I think it's 35 seconds. I'll double check with the program, but rather like, might as well shove an entire roll of sandpaper in my asshole because that would be more enjoyable than doing this one. Did you know there's a mechanism in the female brain that makes them forget about the pains of childbirth? I mention this because I said that the last accessory movement was the worst accessory movement on the face of the planet. And I forgot about this little childbirth of a sandpaper baby. It is timed belt squat RDLs. Now, I've never stuck a hot nail right into my pee hole, but I feel like it would accurately represent how this accessory movement feels. Because it's timed, mostly. I mean, just doing regular belt squat RDLs isn't that bad, but when you put a timer on it, it makes me want a dick piercing with a red hot poker, because that sounds more enjoyable than whatever bullshit this is. Now, I do have a little bit of a regret today, right? I'm in the DMs of this chick. Or she's in my DMs, whatever. So someone's in someone's DMs. We're talking, right? And I'm going to a meet tomorrow. I asked her. She's going to be at the meet. I was like, what time's the meet going to be at? She said 10, with an exclamation point. Now, I mentioned earlier that I am a mathematician by decree of the University of New Hampshire. I have a very expensive piece of paper saying that I am good at math, right? I missed an opportunity, boys. 10 with an exclamation point. That is 10 factorial. I could have been the biggest smartass in the entire world and say 10 factorial is not a time. What time does the meet start? Instead, I went the bro route, and I said, no, not you. What time does the meet start? I'm disappointed in myself. I missed a factorial chance. And it made me think about, I believe it was Sir Galois, pissed off one of his math teachers in school. And so the math teacher was like, you know what? Fuck you. Add up every number from 1 to 100, right? And he finished it in like 10 minutes. The teacher was like, that's impossible. How did you do it? And I got asked on my Instagram Live earlier, what is one area of mathematics that the average person should be familiar with? And I said pattern recognition and logic. And the solution to the sum of numbers 1 to 100 is pattern recognition. The sum of any number, 1 to any even number, a number that you can split in half, right, is pattern recognition. What you do is you recognize, right? 1 plus 100 is 101. 2 plus 99 is 101. 3 plus 98 is 101. You see the pattern there? So you've got half the number of numbers, right? So it's 2 times the sum of, no, it's not 2 times. It's just the sum of 51 50 times, something like that. I just experienced gym brain. So you've got, so it goes all the way up to 51 and 50, right? So there's 50 numbers. So it's 50 times 51. And then it just sums up to whatever that is. If anyone wants to fact check that, because if I'm wrong, it will be like 1 or 2 numbers off. I haven't used numbers in like 3 years. I have a piece of paper that says I'm good with them, but I haven't used them in too long. College is applicable to the real world, not. But I am procrastinating at this point, and I've already got it set up. So butter me up, call me handsome, because we're getting fucked, essentially, though, because it's on the program and I'm willingly doing it. I'm paying for this. That did not sound right. It sounds prostitutional at that point. Am I prostituting myself out to myself if I'm getting fucked like this? I'm paying to fuck myself? A little bit of a conundrum. A little bit of a conundrum. A little bit. Let's go. Let's go do it.
I'll drive, Tuesday and Thursdays, Monday with the contract, Monday, Friday, drive Tuesday and Thursday, or I'll drive Monday, Thursday. Once I want to start going, I'll just which is nice. Because I won't be going until 3, about how long do you think it's going to be till you have that second order? Waiting for the second trip? Yes, you can pick the trip. Oh, alright, they already booked back up all the time. You guys put me on there. That's the better kid for you. It is what it is. Like, you're going to have to not be in the gym this time around. That's what you got. But it's Friday, like, you're going to be by yourself, like, you're late. Have a good night, guy. Did you have 22, 23? Yo, Dad. Have a good night, guy. I wouldn't be surprised a little bit. This is also a narrow thing. Oh, yeah. 45 pounds in though. Hey, see ya. Good test. I passed out. I thought he was tweaking. One of them. Yeah. 103 tests. That's awesome. No, but dude, the one that you were, you got it. Now I got past.
Okay. I don't really know if anything I worked on today will pop up. Oh, let's see. Because, I mean, there isn't really anything popping out. Maybe, it's all going to end up being on the back. It's going to be hamstrings, the calves, back. Can you even see my legs? I don't know if you can see my legs. Let's change the angle. Change the angle of the dangle. See if y'all can't see my legs. Oh, it's a better angle. It's all right. It's gonna be all calves. All calves. Oh, no calf definition there. I'm too pale. I haven't trained calves in like... Oh, when the fuck was the last time I trained calves? Sheesh. I had the leg press program today. I hate doing leg press. Leg press basically only trains your CNS and ego. It's the biggest ego lift ever. And it's like, it's programmed, so I have to do it. So I do it. do. But like, it's so fucking annoying to set up. It's like, even, you're not gonna load something up to a grand and not warm up to it. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna warm up 4 plates per side at a time. So going from 3 plates to 7 plates to 10 plates, well, 3 plates at a time. Actually, it was 11 plates. 11 plates because I made sure to put on the 5-pound plates to make it an even grand plus whatever the base weight is. But I just hate leg press. I just feel dirty doing it. And it's like, oh my God, there's 1,000 pounds. No one gives a shit. I did my first 1,000-pound leg press before I even squatted 315. So it's like, I squat a grand now. What could I leg press? This is like the 3rd week in a row that I've leg pressed, and I'm back up to a grand. Gonna have to start loading up the red plates on it, but I'm not super confident that the leg press that we have at the gym can withstand putting every single red plate in the gym on it. And I just feel it, like everything about the leg press just pisses me off because it's like there's fucking Middle Eastern guys who look like fucking toothpicks who are leg pressing 3 grand. Like it. Like I know Robert Oberst talked about how the risk to reward ratio of deadlifts is just not worth it. Like fucking, that's the leg press. That like the risk of injury on the leg press is so fucking high, and the injuries on it are really bad. And it's like you have to load it up to get any sort of. And like Joe has me doing 6x3 90-second rest. I think he's literally only having me do leg press to train my CNS, have bulk my CNS up and maybe fatigue it a little. I have no fucking clue, but I just hate the leg press. It's the frat boy of the gym because everyone in their grandma can load it up to a grand and hit it for something. Like I remember when I hit my first 1,000 leg press, the gym owner was like, I was like, I think I started loading up more on squats, and he was like, "You're not squatting to depth. Your squat looks horrible. I've seen you leg press, and you can load that the fuck up, but it's not translating at all to your squat because there's so many more factors that go into squatting, like weight distribution, core, back, tightness, like." It's the ego lift of the gym is the leg press. I just hate that it's on my program. But the only bright side to having leg press on the program is being able to train the calves. So I busted out some calf raises, some naughty calf raises. So I did text my coach. I was like, "Can I superset leg press with calf raises? Is there any benefit to that other than making more panties drop because I have super sexy calves?" He did not respond, so I just proceeded unprogrammed. I mean, I guess I went off program by adding calf raises, but it was like, how do you set up a leg press without also doing calf raises too? Stupid. If you're in the leg press, just calf raises always superset. Doesn't affect. They don't affect each other. So I'm done. And there we have it. We survived a deficit deadlift day. Everything went pretty well. The funky voodoo bullshit warm up. I mean, the pistol squats got better as we got warmed up. Further proving the point that I'm old, which is very unfortunate. I'm 27 years old. That's not supposed to be. I'm not old. But I did stretch my calves and my quads before even doing so, and it still looked like dog shit. So I've talked to Dawson Wyndham, who's done some work with the knees over toes guy, and it seems like a lot of what they do for knee health is strengthening the muscles surrounding the joints. So like I do a lot of quad work and hamstring work, but I do little to no calf work other than just walking around as a 337-pound man. So the amount of strength that I have in my calves is probably lacking, definitely lacking comparatively to the muscles on the other side of the knee. So I may the calf raises that I did supersetted with the leg press. If coach does want me to proceed doing that in the future, that might end up helping with the knee health a little bit. I'm not struggling with knee health right now. It was so leading into the last meet. I was getting a lot of knee pain, and I basically had to relearn how to squat like 6 weeks out from the meet. The whole this whole meet was kind of a train wreck to get ready for, and I was not ready for it whatsoever. But I still pulled a PR out of my ass without PRing any of my lifts, which is kind of funny to think of. I mean, I'm a total specialist. That's what I do, but um, basically, I was getting a lot of knee pain when I was squatting, and I couldn't hit depth because I was getting knee pain, and I kicked the shoes off. I couldn't hit depth that way, but I wasn't getting as much knee pain. So I was trying to figure out what I could do to help reduce the knee pain. And Coach Joe Sullivan and my buddy Justin Zottel helped me out. And they were like, you're leading with your knees, which is bad, which is a habit that usually forms when people switch from flats to heels. And we probably should have foreseen this happening. But there's an assumption of intellect or notability when it comes to me for some reason, where they they assume that I've done a lot of things, but I've just been doing missionary position in powerlifting for like 7 years. Um, some might say that I am only strong despite what I've done rather than because of what I've done up to this point. So I was getting a lot of knee pain, and I talked to Dawson Wyndham, and he gave me some exercises, stretches, and stuff. I went out to MetFit and Natick and talked to Dexter Bideau, the mastermind behind Brobility, and they all gave me a lot of exercises and things to help with my knee mobility, and all of it it helped and made sure that I was on the platform and I hit depth when I was on the platform. But now that we have a lot of extra time, or not extra time, but now that we have time before the next meet, and we're not like scrambling because we only have 6 weeks, we've got 17 weeks. That still sounds not very long, because that means we've got 5 weeks until the 12 weeks out, and 12 weeks out is around where a lot of people start peaking. Like Dan Bell's famous saying, don't let the last 12 weeks be a waste or something like that. But I think peak starts 8 weeks out or something like that. I'm not entirely privy as to what Joe's plan is for me when it comes to peaking, because it's also going to be my first sleeved meet. So I actually have to order sleeves to train in, because we're going to start ramping the weight up soon, since we're kind of getting out of the not hypoxic, but the autoerotic asphyxiation block that I call it, because Joe's trying to suffocate the muscles, kind of work all the glycogen out. So I'm not getting as big of pumps because all the glycogen's out, and we're building up, and we've got no or the tolerance of lactic acid is up, so I'm not getting sore. So we're basically just like, all right, now we can start pushing hard. We can push things a little harder because we don't have those internal factors to deal with, because we've flushed them out of the system, and we're able to progress a little more aggressively and have some concrete gains, and initiate some adaptability into the training process. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not the calf raises, if I am allowed to continue doing them going forward, it'll be interesting to see if the calf raises does increase the knee health, because it's kind of cool seeing the applications of calf exercises by the knees over toes guy being applied to powerlifters like Dawson Windham and helping him with mobility and hitting depth, coming back from injury and all that jazz. But that's the training day. You know, I started making videos kind of to I don't have training partners, so I kind of started making these videos a couple years ago to kind of have you guys be my training partner. You guys be the voices in my head that I talk to and get back to and all that. But I got a little too edit heavy and too like I cared too much about I got too fed up, or not fed up, but like focused on the YouTube algorithm and I mean I did learn a lot of skills about editing and graphic design, trying to figure out how to create thumbnails that'll attract the eye. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to video all my stuff, not edit any of it, and just throw it onto YouTube. And at the time when I first started my YouTube channel, the whole thing was that you couldn't post videos over 10 minutes, so I had to edit things down. I had to cut a lot of things out, and now there's not really a limit. And it's kind of funny that Sam Sulik coming ramping way up in popularity over the past year has did exactly what I wanted to. So basically, there's proof in that pudding. So I'm just trying to be your buddy. I'm trying to give you guys unfiltered Patrick, kind of tell you what I'm thinking, what mind processes are going on. But also, I want to teach you guys a little bit about what I'm doing so that you guys can progress and have the progress, similar progress to what I'm doing going forward, but knowing that my needs are different than your needs when it comes to training, and you guys are probably going to need a bit different things, but you'll understand where I'm coming from with my training, and you'll be able to apply the concepts rather than the actual movements to your own training and optimize your own training so that like everyone says that the guy who cheats on his curls is always bigger than the guy who does the most optimal thing. It's like you got to understand, like there is analysis paralysis that goes on when you're trying to optimize everything. So you got to find what you can optimize, what you can't optimize, optimize what you can, and you end up being like, look at the little guys, the 220s, the 198s, John Hack, Joe Sullivan, Chad Penson, Dawson Windham, Shane Hunt, like all these little guys are throwing up stupid numbers. Derek Thistleweight too, because they're optimizing things. And it's kind of funny because Derek Thistlewaite's one of those guys who is very vocal about being against training optimization, but he's got a super optimized training regimen, and it works for him. And his biggest variable is the rest periods in between sets. He optimized the rest periods in between his sets, and he gets his training done in a quick and efficient manner. And that rest time in between sets is a very powerful variable that you can utilize. You reduce the amount of rest that you take in between sets. You increase your pretty much every athletic potential that you have, and it also increases the amount of hypertrophic muscle fibers that you gain and the amount of hyperplasia that goes on in your muscles. So you get bigger and stronger at the same time by abusing the optimization of rest periods. And it literally, if you take your program right now, and if you take your main movement, right, and if it's 5 reps or more, give yourself 2 minutes rest. If it's under 5 reps, give yourself 4 minutes rest. And all your accessories, either 90 seconds rest, if it's a superset, or if it's a single movement that's not a compound mechanically similar movement, just do 60 seconds rest. So you end up optimizing your rest time with that cute little rule of thumb. You end up gaining way more. And then looking at the RP strength guys who are like diving into the science of things, the kind of muscle like contraction optimization, trying to like get a little bit of a the modern bodybuilding like phenomenon that's going on right now, where the guys are looking like way better than they used to. Like the only exception would probably be Ronnie Coleman, but all these guys they're lifting lighter weights, but they're optimizing the amount of gains that they're getting through their accessory movement. Well, bodybuilding is all accessory movements because the risk to reward ratio of the compound movements is not worth it for a lot of bodybuilders. So they focus on specific muscle groups with machines, with dumbbells, stuff like that, and they're lifting lower weights than you would expect. But they're optimizing their training by using tempo work. They're optimizing the fast and slow twitch muscle fibers, making sure that there's time under tension, there's load going on in their muscles whenever they're training. So, like, I lost my train of thought there, but basically, like, I'm trying to share what I'm learning with you because I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who lifts heavy weights. I at the American Pro, Garrett Fear was like, you're finally out of the cult of old school powerlifting. Because my past coach was basically one of the guys who made Westside Barbell famous. And basically it was either my way or the highway. And like all the training that like he had us go through was very old school and would make fun of these like new school lifters who are coming up. But I noticed a trend that the little guys are starting to put up numbers that are tickling what the big guys are doing. Like if you are a super heavyweight, you should be lifting numbers that cannot be touched by any other weight class. That is what super heavyweights should do. Like if you go to a meet and a super heavyweight doesn't have the highest total, they need to drop weight classes, multiple weight classes, because that's wholly unacceptable. I am a hypocrite because the last meet that I went to, I got the second heaviest total because Fernando Arias broke the 308 wrapped deadlift record. Never mind that last part then. I'm not dropping multiple weight classes. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I have the amount of information that I've learned over the past year talking with a lot of people refused to talk. They were kind of afraid to talk to me because of the people that I was associated with. They knew that I was like indoctrinated in the old school powerlifting cult. But now a lot of people are coming out of the woodworks and they're being like, hey, this concept, and I want to share that the novel concepts with you guys going forward as I learn things, because I'm not always going to be right about things. I'm just a guy. I'm a YouTube guy. There is no fact checking going on when between me saying the shit that I say and it going into your ears. So as I progress, as I get more experience, as I go, I hope you guys join me on this journey as I learn, as I become the greatest powerlifter of all time and learn all those like little intricacies, all the minutia, the small details going forward on like what is going on. Because right now I don't know, but eventually I will know because I love the sport. And I hope you guys love the sport too. Or at least you love me. I can talk a lot and you can just throw me on while you're studying and you'll have anyone will walk in to your room and they'll either hear me speaking with polysyllabic words that they don't understand because the majority of the average people speak in monosyllabic words. When I was a substitute teacher, I basically had to speak a different language than that in which I was used to speaking because they did not understand polysyllabic words, which means words with multiple syllables. For those of you who never studied Latin, or they'll hear the most grotesque thing possible. Go watch a couple of my most previous videos. At the end, I talk about why do we not have pumpkin spice baby wipes yet, and should we be applying cocoa butter to our balls to increase the chances that we get our asses ate and our dicks sucked. So, stay deplorable, you fucking degenerates, and I love every single one of you. Patty out.